we sent last week to the Undersecretary Kessler and signed by Mario Diaz-Balart, Carlos Jimenez, and myself. And this letter says specifically requesting from your office a full review of all export licenses to the island of Cuba. I'm not sure if you are familiar with this letter. And the reason why we did this, Mario Diaz-Balart, Maria Salazar, and Carlos Jimenez, or Carlos Jimenez and myself, Maria Salazar, is because there is a new elected official in the city of Miami, the city that I represent, called Dariel Fernandez, who is the tax collector. And thanks to him, he went over and beyond his call of duty, and he was able to discover that there were general licenses granted by HFAC and by your office, BIS, to export items to the island of Cuba. And he was able to discover that the United States government has allowed for Ferraris, Rolls Royces, Maseratis, jacuzzis, jet skis, golf carts to be exported to Cuba. A country that has the average Cuban does not have water, electricity, does not have food, medicine, and they don't have freedom. So I don't think that sounds really humanitarian to me. Were you aware that that was happening?
Thank you for the question, Congresswoman, and I share your concern about this issue. In my role as the Assistant Secretary for Export Enforcement, we investigate violations of ECRA and the EAR.
But did you know that specifically HFAC and BIS was allowing under these licenses granted by your office? And I'm not saying that this started with the Trump administration. I'm saying that it has continued. Were you aware that the general licenses granted to certain individuals included Ferraris and Rolls Royces to the island of Cuba?
Again, Congresswoman, I was not personally aware.
Got it. So you were not personally aware, and anyone in your office. Got it. But it doesn't really sound highly humanitarian. For me, humanitarian is food and medicine, not Ferraris. Or jet skis, or golf carts, right?
I fully understand your concern.
Got it. So then since you fully understand, I just want to ask you something very specific. Do you commit right here, right now, in public, to revoke, investigate, and revoke any licenses that are not for humanitarian purposes, meaning food and medicine?
What I can commit to you today, Congresswoman, is that Export Enforcement, the Office of Export Enforcement, of Export Enforcement, will investigate any and all violations of ECRA.
We have done the investigation. I am more than willing, and I'm sure that the tax collector is more than willing to give you all the info, all the different companies that are doing this type of maneuvering. Because this is just it's just a loophole in the law that we have allowed it for years. But it has to be humanitarian because that is the Trump policy. Humanitarian items to the island of Cuba. So do you commit to revoke those licenses if we provide to you all the documentation?
Again, I think I'm not trying to quibble with you, Congresswoman. I'll certainly take your concerns back to my colleagues in Export Administration who are responsible for our licensing procedures.
And after that, what happens? You take it, they review, what happens?
Again, I'd be uncomfortable to speak too much to their equities, but they have the option to revoke existing. They generally speaking have the option to revoke existing licenses.
Who has the option to revoke? Who has that?
It's within the Export Administration side of the Bureau of Industry and
Security. Who heads that office?
We have an acting assistant secretary at the moment. We don't have a nominated and confirmed.
So do you think that maybe the acting secretary could take this request that I am bringing to you and forewarn him what's happening, inform what I just told you, and I'll give you all the documentation, the name and the companies. This is just a loophole.
I will absolutely bring...
The United States is not in the business of sending Maseratis and Rolls Royces to Cuba.
I understand, Congresswoman. I'll certainly bring your concerns